Alright, so this is a close-up view of some of the joints on our friend Nova over here, and as you can see, we got full back and forth on the ankle. We have a slight bit of side-to-side tilt, just a little bit. Once again, it is a good ankle joint. It is one I prefer, gives you a lot more flexibility on the leg. As you can see right here, we've got the dual articulation on the knee. The armor makes it a little difficult to get the bottom portion of the knee, the calf end, bent, but it is definitely not impossible. And then we have the upper leg joint, which is the knee going into the quads and the hamstrings over here. Again, gives us great flexibility. We have the joint right up here for the swivel on the upper quad. And then, of course, we have the full range of the hip joint. Again, since Nova is a flying character, it gives us a lot more posability on the leg poses, as you can see, so that you can get poses done very well of flight positions. Okay, we got the swivel on the hip. As I was saying before, it would have been better if the belt was attached to the upper torso. That way the lower torso was the part where this wasn't moving. That way when you turn them to the side slightly, you don't see this huge hip right over here. We have the abdomen joint, which again is a great joint on smaller figures. Should not be used on the heavier figures. And then we got the full joint on the neck. So not only do we got the side-to-side motion and slight up and down, we have full up and down motion. Again, this should be the preferred neck joint that they use. And then on the arm, we have the new hinge that they've used for the armor piece, so that the full range of motion for the bull joint for the shoulder is not negated. Again, they've also used the shoulder joint that actually clicks if you listen really carefully. You can hear it click. That way it actually locks into a position and there's less chance of the arm just falling down to the side. It is a good joint. I wish they would use it a lot more. We have the upper bicep joint that's hooking into our shoulder over here so that the upper arm can move independently from the rest of the shoulder. We have the dual articulation right here on the elbow so that we can move the lower arm. We can move the upper arm, or we can move them both. Once again, gives us much more range of motion on our characters. And then on the wrist, we have the full articulation on the wrist. Not only do we have the swivel back and forth, left to right, but we also have an up and down motion. Now, once again, the armor right here on the wrist prevents it from really bending back. It's not a pose you really need too much for Nova, but it would be good in the future if they take that in consideration and maybe hook this armor piece onto the hand. That way it doesn't affect how much the wrist goes back and forth. Again, a marked improvement over a lot of the articulation on a lot of the figures that Marvel does, but we still have some little things to kind of fix and iron out before Marvel's given us perfect figures.